Okay, I want to give you a quick intro to how JavaScript works and how the whole scripting business carries on behind the scenes. We need this little bit before I show you how to fix something concerning menus on your web page. But this is just a very quick intro to JavaScript. It's an absolutely huge area. It is equal #1 with CSS in terms of requirements. If you're going to get a job in this industry, you need to know CSS, you need to know JavaScript. All I'm going to do here is just show you the very basics of it. I've knocked up a simple web page here. I've called it JavaScript demo, and it's got nothing in it, as you can see. It's just got the document type there, got a HTML tag, an empty header, empty body. That's what we're starting with at the moment. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just put a little TLE, little title in here saying my Java demo. There we are, title. Okay, and what you need to do to learn this sort of stuff is jump straight onto Google and start typing in JavaScript examples and so forth. Link 1, 2 or 3 will show up as taking you over to W3C Schools as usual. Some cracking resources on there, and I'm basically just going to steal one of their examples. I'm looking at let's just, in fact, just bring this over here. I'll show you what I'm going to have on screen. I've typed it. Oh, that's got a bit too big. Let's make that a bit smaller. There we are. All I've done is type in. What did I type in? I typed in JavaScript, simple examples. W3C Schools is the top one. That's the one basically I'm looking at, and I'm just going to go down there and probably use something like, let's have a look. What did I choose? I chose, I think it was buttons or something like that. Anyway, let me just move that out of the way over there. Oh, here we are. It was a button. So. Let me just basically go and steal what they've got. They've got a little button, and if I Control C and drop that into the body section, Control V, and let me just make this a bit wider so you can see what's going on there. So it's an input type of a button. It's going to do something here. This is a weird thing. It says onClick my function. Not quite sure what that is. Value, I'm alright with that. That's going to be the text that appears on the button when the button appears on the page, and let's just put a header here so we can see what's going on. /h1 my test page, something like that. And let's just have a look at that. Control S that. Let's go over here. Quick, have a look and see what it looks like. There we are. That's what the page looks like. And I press this, and nothing happens at the moment. So we're going to join up that button to a bit of JavaScript, and there's going to be, I'm guessing in this JavaScript, there's going to be a function called my function. Would seem to make sense. Well, if we go back and look on the W3C Schools web page, help page is there. It gives me a little bit of script. It looks like this, and let me just tidy this up slightly so that you can just see exactly what's going on. So we've got a script, and let me just tab that in as well. Okay, so it's given us a tag called script. You need the tag called script so it knows there's a script there. And you can also, I think you'll find you'll be able to label these things as specifically JavaScript or VB script or whatever. At the moment we're just using straightforward tag called script, and it's got a function there called my function. And let's have a look at this my function. That basically, when we click that button, it's going to call this function, and it's going to do something which says alert, and it's going to show an alert which says something, hello, I'm an alert box. I'm guessing that's going to do something like pop up a button that says hello, I'm an alert box. So let's Control S that, go over here, hit F5 to refresh. Alright, so let's have a look. Click that, and there we are. It pops up a JavaScript alert saying I am an alert box. Okay, so that seems to work reasonably straightforward. Okay, let's have a look at this alert and see if we can, this function, see if we can do some other things here. I did a little bit more Googling, and I decided that there was something I could actually change some of the elements on here, provided we give them an ID. Now, if you remember one of my earlier clips, I said you can only have one ID per page, but you can have many classes per page. And the reason why you only need one ID per page is right here. If you're using JavaScript and you want to call up a particular tag, it's got to have a unique ID on the page. So we do ID and call this H1 ID. Hang on a second. Let's call it. Lost my cursor for a second. My big heading. There we are. So I can grab that particular H1 tag there because I've given it a specific ID. And let's go back to this thing here and call it it's my function at the moment. And I've gone onto another page, and they've got something. Where is it? It says this thing here, Control C, and stick this in here. And why am I always doing these clips with the washing machine going on off in the background? You can hear the washing machine going off to my right there. Anyway, and that's what they've got here. Is they're changing something called an element by ID called ID, and they're changing its width and a value. That's sort of what I'm after. I just want to basically be able to click on this button. It turns this heading red. So it says ID. I'm guessing I'm going to have to take my ID there, Control C, and then put that in there. Control V, and it's a style.width. I'm guessing there's the style.col. And let's say, I don't know, type in red and see if that works. May work, may not, but a sort of sense that'll get us somewhere. Control S. Oh, I suspect because it's a style, I'm probably going to have to put that in quote marks, I would guess. Something like that. Control S. Okay, so we've now got this function called my function. It's going to go up here and it's going to go through the document. It's going to get an element by the ID of my big heading, so just grab that, and it's going to look at its style attribute, and it's going to look specifically for the colour. It's going to change it to red, I reckon. And in fact, we'll change this value now, so the button says change colour. Something like that. Give it the American spelling, change colour. Actually, we'll be English. Control S. There we are. Let's go over here. F5. Okay, so I press that. That should change that heading to red. Well, there we are. Okay, so we've got that. Now, why don't I mess around a bit? And now I've got the idea of this. Why don't I do this? Grab that input. Control C. Control V. I've got two buttons, and we'll say change colour to red. This one's going to be change colour to blue, and a number of you are already going to be ahead of me here, and I'll call this red function, my blue function, and I'm going to Control C, copy that, Control V, paste that. I'm going to call that my red function, turn that red. I bet you can't guess what I'm going to call this. My blue function, BLUE, and I reckon I'm going to have two buttons in here now. One's going to say change colour to red, one's going to say change colour to blue, and I bet you can't possibly guess what they're going to do. Let's have a look here, see if this works. Change colour to red, there we go, change colour to blue. Isn't that really amazing? So that's a very, very quick intro to JavaScript. We need it to fix something. I'm going to show you that in the next clip, but have a go at that first.